In 1999, Kurt Warner, a man once rejected by the National Football League and relegated to stocking grocery shelves for $5.50 an hour, stood at the pinnacle of football glory. In his first Super Bowl appearance with millions watching, he threw for a record-breaking 414 yards, securing both victory and Most Valuable Player honors. Warner's journey from obscurity to stardom wasn't just about football. It was a testament to the power of faith, perseverance, and an unshakable belief that every setback is part of a greater plan. This is the story of a man who turned every no into an opportunity to rise. Kurt Warner was born on June 22, 1971, in Burlington, Iowa, a small town in the heart of America. His childhood was marked by a love for football, but opportunities were scarce. Warner's high school career showed flashes of potential, but his path to college football was far from smooth. Despite his talent, he was overlooked by Division I-A programs, eventually enrolling at the University of Northern Iowa. There, Warner sat on the bench for 4 long years before finally earning the starting quarterback role in his 5th and final season. That year, he proved his worth, earning Gateway Conference Player of the Year honors, but the struggles to reach that point were enough to test anyone's resolve. During these challenging years, Warner's faith began to take root as a source of strength. Raised in a Christian household, Kurt leaned on his belief in a higher purpose to navigate the doubts and disappointments. His perspective shifted from viewing setbacks as failures to seeing them as part of a divine plan. This mindset became a cornerstone of Warner's life, allowing him to face adversity with humility and patience. "I learned that success isn't about avoiding struggles," Warner once said, "but about trusting that God's timing is perfect." A pivotal moment in Warner's early adult life came when he met Brenda Meoni, a divorced mother of 2, including a young son with severe disabilities. Their relationship was far from conventional. Brenda was 5 years older and navigating her own hardships, but their shared faith forged a deep connection. Kurt not only embraced Brenda, but also her children, quickly stepping into the role of a father figure. This experience profoundly shaped his character, teaching him lessons in responsibility, compassion, and sacrifice. These qualities, rooted in his faith, would define the way Warner approached both football and life. Kurt Warner's path to the NFL was unconventional, riddled with setbacks that might have deterred a lesser man. After going undrafted in the 1994 NFL Draft, Warner was offered a training camp spot with the Green Bay Packers. It was a brief and unremarkable stint, competing against established quarterbacks like Brett Favre, Mark Brunell, and Ty Detmer. Warner's lack of experience and readiness became evident. He was released before the regular season even began. The rejection was a crushing blow, and for a moment, Warner questioned if his dream of playing professional football was out of reach. With no other offers from NFL teams, Warner returned to Iowa, where he moved into Brenda's parents' basement and began working nights as a stocker at a Hy-Vee grocery store, earning just $5.50 an hour. For a man with NFL aspirations, it was a humbling experience. Every night, as he stacked shelves, Warner wrestled with the frustration of unrealized potential. But in those quiet hours, a deeper resolve took shape. He chose to see this period not as an ending, but as preparation for something greater. It was about trusting God's plan, Warner reflected. "I knew I was being tested, and I had to be ready when the opportunity came." The first step toward a second chance came from an unlikely source: the Arena Football League. Though initially reluctant, Warner signed with the Iowa Barnstormers in 1995. The game was faster, the field smaller, and the stakes seemingly lower, but Warner embraced it with everything he had. His time in the Arena League wasn't just a career detour, it was a crucible. The quick pace of the game forced him to make faster decisions, improving his timing and accuracy skills that would later define his NFL success. Warner led the Barnstormers to back-to-back Arena Bowl appearances and earned league-wide recognition for his outstanding play. Yet even as he excelled, Warner never stopped praying for another shot at the NFL. In 1997, his prayers were partially answered when he signed with the St. Louis Rams. However, the opportunity came with a caveat: Warner was sent to play for the Amsterdam Admirals in MFL Europe, a developmental league designed to give players experience. In Europe, Warner once again proved his worth, leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns. It seemed like everything was finally falling into place. But when he returned to the Rams for the 1998 season, Warner found himself relegated to the practice squad, serving as a backup to a struggling team that finished with only 4 wins. It wasn't until the summer of 1999 that Warner's patience and faith were rewarded. During the preseason, the Rams' starting quarterback, Trent Green, suffered a devastating knee injury, thrusting Warner into the starting role. The decision was met with skepticism from fans and analysts alike. After all, this was a man who had spent more time stocking groceries than taking NFL snaps. But Warner wasn't just ready, he was prepared. All those nights in the grocery store, the trials in the Arena League, and the tests in NFL Europe had forged a player who was both mentally and spiritually equipped for the challenge. Warner's first words to the media after being named the starter were simple yet profound. "God has a plan, and I'm ready to follow it." In 1999, Kurt Warner's life changed forever. With Trent Green sidelined by injury, Warner stepped into the spotlight as the starting quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. Expectations were low after all. Warner was an unproven player with a background that seemed more like a movie script than a professional athlete's resume. But what followed was nothing short of miraculous. Warner led the Rams to one of the most dominant offensive seasons in NFL history, earning them the nickname "the greatest show on turf." With his pinpoint accuracy and quick decision-making, Warner threw 41 touchdown passes and amassed over 4,000 passing yards, leading the league in both categories. His performance earned him the NFL MVP award and cemented his place as one of the greatest stories in sports. Warner's crowning moment came in Super Bowl 34. Facing the Tennessee Titans, Warner delivered a performance for the ages. He threw for a record-breaking 414 yards, including a game-winning 73-yard touchdown pass to Isaac Bruce in the closing moments. It was a throw that defied the odds, made under immense pressure, and symbolized Warner's journey: bold, unyielding, and driven by faith. After the Rams clinched the victory, Warner stood on the podium and famously declared, "Thank you, Jesus." For Warner, this moment wasn't just about football glory. It was a testament to his belief that God had guided him every step of the way. The success of 1999 could have easily overwhelmed Warner, but his faith kept him grounded. Despite the sudden fame and accolades, Warner remained humble, always redirecting credit to his teammates and his spiritual beliefs. He used his platform to inspire others, sharing his story of perseverance and gratitude. "I'm just a guy from Iowa who trusted in God," he often said. But Warner's humility didn't mean he lacked confidence. Instead, it came from a deep sense of purpose, knowing that his achievements were part of a bigger plan. His leadership, both on and off the field, became a cornerstone of the Rams' success, driving the team to redefine what an NFL offense could achieve. After his meteoric rise, Kurt Warner's career faced challenges that would test even the strongest resolve. In the seasons following his 1999 breakout, injuries began to take their toll. A broken finger sidelined him during the 2002 season, and when he returned, his performance wasn't the same. In the opening game of the 2003 season, Warner fumbled 6 times, a disastrous outing that marked the beginning of the end for his time with the Rams. He was benched in favor of Mark Bulger, and by the end of the season, Warner was released. For a player who had reached the pinnacle of the NFL just a few years earlier, this fall from grace was a devastating blow. Warner's faith, however, remained steadfast through these trials. While many doubted his ability to return to form, Warner saw this period as an opportunity to grow in humility and trust. Instead of becoming bitter or defensive, he leaned into his role as a mentor and supporter. When he joined the New York Giants in 2004, he faced another setback, being benched midseason in favor of rookie quarterback Eli Manning. Yet, Warner refused to create conflict, choosing instead to act as a guide for Manning, who would later credit Warner's influence as pivotal to his development. "My faith reminds me that every situation has a purpose," Warner reflected. "Sometimes that purpose isn't about me, it's about helping someone else." These years of uncertainty and disappointment could have marked the end of Warner's career, but his unwavering belief in God's plan gave him the strength to persevere. In 2005, Warner signed with the Arizona Cardinals, a franchise with a long history of losing. Many saw this as a sign that Warner's days as a starting quarterback were over, but Warner saw it as a fresh start, a chance to rebuild not just his career, but also the culture of an entire organization. Even as he initially served as a backup to Matt Leinart, Warner worked tirelessly to prepare for any opportunity that might come his way. "Every day is a chance to prove that faith and effort go hand in hand," he said. Warner's patience, resilience, and trust would soon lead to one of the most remarkable comebacks in NFL history. In 2005, Kurt Warner signed with the Arizona Cardinals, a franchise long associated with losing seasons and unmet expectations. To many, this seemed like the final chapter of a career that had once burned brightly, but was now fading into obscurity. However, Warner saw something different, a chance to prove that faith and hard work could transform not only a player's career, but an entire organization. From the beginning, Warner embraced the challenge of turning the Cardinals into contenders. Even as he initially served as a backup quarterback, Warner's work ethic and leadership began to leave a mark on the team. Warner's impact wasn't just on the field, it was in the locker room. One of his most significant contributions was his mentorship of young wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, already a rising star, recalls a pivotal conversation with Warner. "I told Kurt I was good enough," Fitzgerald later shared, "and he looked at me and said, 'Don't you want to be the best?' That moment changed how I approached everything." Warner's faith-driven philosophy that excellence is a reflection of character shaped the Cardinals' culture. Inspiring players to strive for greatness, he didn't just teach his teammates how to win. He showed them how to lead with integrity and purpose. In 2008, Warner finally reclaimed the starting role and led the Cardinals to their best season in decades. At 37 years old, Warner defied expectations, thrown for over 4,500 yards and 27 touchdowns. But his real brilliance came during the postseason. Over 4 playoff games, Warner passed for 11 touchdowns and 1,200 yards, setting records and silencing doubters along the way. His performance in the NFC Championship game, a 32-25 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, was a masterclass in composure and precision. Warner's deep connection with Fitzgerald, who caught 3 touchdowns that day, became the heart of the Cardinals' offense. For the first time in franchise history, the Cardinals were headed to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 43 was a battle between Warner's Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team with one of the NFL's most formidable defenses. Warner played with the same courage and determination that had defined his entire career. In the game's final minutes, he orchestrated a drive that culminated in a 64-yard touchdown pass to Fitzgerald, giving the Cardinals a late lead. Though the Steelers ultimately secured a victory with a last-second touchdown, Warner's performance, 377 yards and 3 touchdowns, cemented his legacy as one of the game's greatest clutch players. Even in defeat, Warner's faith remained unwavering. As he comforted his teammates and spoke to reporters, he emphasized the journey rather than the outcome. "We may not have won the game," he said, "but we proved what belief and unity can accomplish." Warner's final seasons with the Cardinals showcased his resilience and unshakable faith. Despite facing injuries and doubts about his age, he continued to play at an elite level, leading Arizona to another playoff run in 2009. His humility and focus never wavered, even as the physical demands of the game took their toll. Warner's leadership transformed the Cardinals from perennial underachievers to a respected franchise, and his influence on younger players ensured that his legacy would endure. "I always believed this was God's plan," Warner reflected. "It wasn't just about football. It was about showing others that with faith, anything is possible." When Kurt Warner retired from the NFL in 2010, He left behind a legacy that was as much about character as it was about football. But retirement was not the end of Warner's journey. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new chapter, one focused on faith, family, and giving back. For Warner, his platform as an NFL star wasn't something to be abandoned after his playing days, but rather a tool to inspire and uplift others. This perspective became the driving force behind his life's work off the field. One of Warner's most impactful endeavors is the First Things First Foundation, which he and Brenda founded in 2001. The foundation is rooted in their shared commitment to faith and community, focusing on helping those in need. Through programs like Home for the Holidays, which provides housing assistance for struggling families, and We're Going to Disney World, which sponsors trips for children facing serious illnesses. The foundation reflects Warner's belief that life is about serving others. "I've been given so much," Warner said. "It's my responsibility to share those blessings with the world." Warner's commitment to making a difference extends beyond philanthropy. As a television analyst, Warner uses his platform to share not just his football expertise, but also his perspectives on leadership and perseverance. His commentary is often laced with insights that go beyond X's and O's, encouraging viewers to see sports as a metaphor for life's challenges. Warner's ability to connect with audiences stems from his authenticity. He is the same man behind the camera as he is at home, where his role as a husband and father remains his greatest priority. With 7 children, Warner often speaks about how his faith informs his approach to parenting, emphasizing the importance of patience, humility, and leading by example. One of the most poignant examples of Warner's faith-driven life occurred in 2017 when he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In his acceptance speech, Warner spoke passionately about how his journey was guided by God's hand. He credited his faith for not only sustaining him during difficult times, but also shaping his success. "The only reason I'm standing here is because of my Lord above," Warner said, his voice filled with gratitude. For those watching, Warner's message was clear. Greatness is not measured by trophies or accolades, but by the impact one has on others. Even today, Warner's story continues to resonate, whether through his motivational speaking engagements, his charitable work, or his enduring presence as a football analyst. Warner remains a beacon of hope and inspiration. His journey from stocking shelves to the Hall of Fame is a testament to the power of faith and perseverance. "Life isn't about avoiding challenges," Warner often says. "It's about trusting that every step, every setback, and every victory has a purpose." For Warner, that purpose has always been bigger than football. If Kurt Warner's story has inspired you, imagine how many more lives we can touch together. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible journeys like his. Warner's life is proof that greatness isn't defined by where you start, but by the values you carry and the faith that guides you. Kurt Warner's journey from the grocery store to the Hall of Fame is more than a football story. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Every step of his career, from the setbacks to the triumphs, reflected an unwavering trust in a higher purpose. He showed us that faith isn't just about belief, but about action, showing up, giving your best, and lifting others along the way. Warner didn't just play the game. He changed the lives of those who watched him, played alongside him, and shared his vision for what it means to lead with character. Warner's story challenges us all to reflect on our own lives. How do we respond to setbacks? Do we let them define us, or do we use them as stepping stones to something greater? Warner's faith-driven approach reminds us that no matter how many times life knocks us down, our response can inspire those around us. His ability to rise time and again was not rooted in talent alone, but in a deep-seated belief that his journey had meaning beyond the scoreboard. Today, Warner's legacy is not just etched in NFL records or enshrined in Canton. It lives on in the countless lives he has touched. Whether through his foundation, his mentorship, or his example as a father and husband, Warner has shown that the true measure of success is the impact we have on others. He continues to inspire millions to pursue their dreams, lean on their faith, and make the world a better place in their own way. So what about you? What values drive your life? Kurt Warner's story invites us all to consider how we can use our gifts to create a legacy that transcends our personal ambitions. His journey proves that no dream is too big, no obstacle too daunting, and no act of kindness too small to change the world. Thank you for watching, and remember, every story has a purpose, and every purpose has the power to inspire.